I am Megha Bharani Desai. I'm an animal activist. I and my mom run an animal rescue shelter, rescue rehabilitation and adoption shelter called Sudha Shelter Home. We were registered in 2016, but we have been running this shelter from past 12 years now. Let me just take you through the shelter. It's actually a very tricky question if you ask me how this thing, inspired us to create a shelter and everything. If it was a few years before, I would have told that, I rescued an animal, a cat basically, and then I brought it home. My parents never denied me getting animals home. I kept on rescuing, and that gave my mom a passion, a satisfaction whenever an injured animal came home. She treated it. She took care of it, and then we gave them for adoption. So that really inspired her. So that was the previous story. But now if you ask me after 12 years what inspired us to do this, then I would say that maybe we were born for this purpose. So from childhood, my parents have taught me to be kind to animals because they have grown up with animals. They love animals. So I've seen them, taking care of dogs and cats on the streets, feeding cows, even feeding ants, to be honest. So I have grown up with that knowledge that, animals are like gods, and then we should always take care of them and feed them. So it happened. So when I was 13 or 14-year-old, I just rescued a kitten which was being attacked by dogs, and then I brought it home. I remember holding it on my chest, and then there were scratches all around my neck. But then when I got it home, the kitten started playing. It was so happy that I rescued it from a bunch of dogs. It started playing, it started eating, which gave me a lot of joy, to be honest. And my mom found a passion through it. She was like, okay, this is my life purpose. I am meant to take care of animals. So yeah, that's how the shelter began. So we were feeding a lot of dogs outside in the streets, like almost 200 dogs, to be honest. And then we had around 15 cats inside house. So we registered the shelter when we had around 50 cats and 3 dogs. So that's when we registered the shelter. We were like, okay, we have to make it a real big legal entity so that we will get donations and people will come to know about it, and we would be able to rescue more lives. When we started this shelter, like you would have heard about rescue shelter and adoption shelter, but when we started this, our mission was not just rescue. Of course, it is rescue. Rescue is the main purpose. But it was not just rescue then. It was basically giving a homely environment to all the animals. So when you are in a situation where you'll be faced with choosing two options, like choosing your animal or choosing something which is very important to you as a priority, like we get cases where people are moving out of India and they cannot take their pets with them, or there's some health problem in the house, so that doctors advise you not to keep pets with you. So with such cases, sadly, either the owner has to search for a new adopter, which is, as a experienced person, I'm telling, which is very rare to get your pet adopted now. There are a lot of people who come to adopt, but then there are restrictions, like they want a kitten so that they'll adjust with each other. And if your pet is a little handicapped, then they wouldn't take them. Or if your pet is old, like 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, then they wouldn't get adopted to a new family. So with such restrictions, they are given with options like either leave them on streets or give them to a shelter, or when they can't find an adopter of a new family. So that's when we imagined that as pet parents, we ourselves, we had 10-15 cats, and whenever we used to go out on trips or any other purpose, we used to always feel like where to leave our pets, or is it possible to take care of these many pets with such responsibilities, like other family responsibilities. So when we started this shelter, our goal was also to encourage people to come and leave their pets with us for permanent care, and only if they have such unavoidable situations at home. So that's how the rehabilitation also came in. So we do rescue animals, we do get injured animals, we also give for adoption, like the animals we have, and we also do take in animals for permanent care, which cannot be taken care at home because of your personal reasons. So currently at Sudha Shelter Home, we have approx 800 animals. We have 450 plus population of cats. We have 200 plus population of dogs. We have 54, 55 guinea pigs. Then we have rabbits, we have ducks, we have tortoise, and we have hens too. So my mom stays here with animals because she believes that when we are committed to taking care of such voiceless souls, we have to be there on how they're being taken care, how they're being fed. So we have to see from our own eyes for us to know that, okay, there's nothing wrong happening here. So she stays here 24/7. A typical day starts around like 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning, where a round of cleaning is done. And then whatever there is in the menu, like chicken or wet food or whatever home food is there on the menu on that day, particular day. So that is being fed around 9 o'clock. And then again, early noon by 11:30, 12, everywhere, dogs are given chicken rice or fish rice or curd rice mixed with dry food and wet food, whatever's there on that day. And the cats are fed with dry food, the basic cat food, which is there. And then again, noon, but the cleaning finishes at around 12:30, and that's when we allow visitors to come in. So people who want to drop in the pets or the rescued animals or whatever happens up and down from, we sending animals to the hospitals or they coming from here. So that happens from 12:30 to 5:30. So medications and everything that is done between that time. And again, the shelter closes at 5 o'clock. The visitors can visit only up to 5 o'clock. So after 5 o'clock, again, is the same schedule, like, feeding, cleaning. So we make sure that the cages are cleaned 4 times a day. There's plenty of water and food in every cage. And the sheds are also, cleaned 2 times a day, so that there's enough hygiene maintained, because we believe when we can maintain hygiene, the doctor cost automatically reduces. So that's how a typical day goes in. We have extremely busy. There are people walking in, there are people walking out, there are animals walking in. And then there are some cases where they need urgent care. So we immediately send them to the doctor, or we call in the doctor. So it's just complete chaos. Feeding of guinea pigs happens every 3 to 4 hours. So it's maybe around 4 to 5 times a day, where they are fed with green leaves, vegetables, and their own nutritious, packet food which comes in the market. And then the ducks are fed 3 times a day with the food which is meant for them. And the same goes with hens. The cats and dogs are fed 3 times a day. One is kept for snacks, so they either get sugar-free biscuits or the dog snacks for the snacking time. And the food is like, for dogs we give curd rice, milk rice mixed with dry food like pedigree or drools or something like that, and then mixed with wet food, so there's little taste so that they eat well. And then on the other day we feed them chicken rice. Someday we feed them ganji, rava ganji mixed with dog food. And when it comes to cats, we give them chicken, cooked chicken. Some days we give them fish. Some days they eat egg. And then we give them bun and milk. We give them curd rice mixed with wet food. We give them only ganji, like rice ganji mixed with wet food, which they love. And 24/7, the dry food, the kibbles, which are meant for, which comes as cat food. So kibbles and water are kept 24/7. They are refilled whenever it gets empty. Other homely foods, we have timings, like, we give them 3 times a day. And when it comes to medical care, cat or a dog walks in with some kind of an issue and is not being treated. There's a clinic which is very near to us. So we immediately send the animal to his clinic, and he treats the animals and just lets us know what is going to be the further procedure, whether we have to bring the animal again or we can do the basic medication here itself. And whenever there's an animal which comes with a prescription, like it's already been treated and it has come with a prescription. So we follow that prescription and also keep our doctors in loop. And whenever we have an emergency case where we cannot take the animal, it's not in a state where it can travel, then we call in the doctor. So we do visit a lot of doctors nearby. We have doctors we visit in city because our auto goes every day to city, back and forth 2 to 3 times a day. And then we have a few doctors very nearby to us, so it's very comfortable for us when it comes to medications. So when we have a chronic disease case where we have to continue the medication for a very long time, like for lifelong medications like kidneys, or when dog suffering from diabetes, or there's kidney issues, or there's any other issue where, like for example, gingivitis in cats, so we have to give medication for a longer time. So we do have certain general medications and syrups which we have readily available in shelter. So it's easy for us whenever a new cat or an animal walks in. We just ask the doctor what we have to do and what can be done from our side, and we do it. So we have facilities for that as well. So the most common cases we get in shelter is, first one is like we getting animals for permanent care from people who are very heartbroken to leave their animals here. The second type of case is injured animals. Either they're met with an accident, a dog has attacked a cat, so cat is severely injured. A cat has fallen down from a building, so it has lost its hind legs, has broken some ribs and spinal cord, such cases. And the dog accident cases, and a few other, like when it comes to guinea pigs and rabbits, it's just injured or sick. And then they also have viral infection cases, like dogs suffering from distemper, dogs suffering from parvovirus, cats suffering from panleukopenia. So all these are very typical regular rescue cases which we get on a daily basis. So when a new animal walks in, whether it's a cat or a dog, we have to give one-to-one attention to each one of them. Because like humans, even animals have different personalities and characters. Even they do feel emotions. They do feel depression, separation anxiety. Like when they're separated from their family, when they're separated from their surroundings and they come here. So it's a very new environment for them. So it takes a little time for them to adjust. And when they are separated from their family members, that hurts them the most. They go through depression phase. They miss their family, they don't eat food, they have to adjust to our food. So, that one-to-one treatment can only happen when we keep them in, different cages. Like, so it's not like we are caging them for a very longer time. It's just till they adjust to us. So when they come in, their vaccination process has to be done. Their neutering or spaying has to be done. If they are injured, then they have to rest like other animals, like humans do rest when they are sick. So like that, when an animal walks in, it's a 21 days process or a 1 month process. It depends on the cases we receive. So if the cat is ferocious, it is not allowing us to touch, then it is not eating also, then we'll have to observe. We'll have to give the same food which it is used to eating before. We have to try with different foods. Okay, if it is not eating Royal Canin, then we'll give it Whiskas. If it is not eating Whiskas, then we'll give it, drools. So likewise, there are some animals which are very much attached to the family members or like the environment they have been brought in. So we have to, pet them, care for them. We have to talk to them that it's okay, we'll take care of you, eat. So then they do understand the emotion and then they start eating. So that one-to-one care is very important when a new animal walks in. So it's not like we are caging them for a very longer time. It's just till they adjust to our food and our environment and us. So once that comfortness is developed between us, then we can easily leave them out in the shed and the play area. So then whenever we call them for food, they will come for food. They will know that, okay, this is where I have to litter. This is where I have to eat food. Okay, this is the time they're going to come and give food and I have to go there near the bowl to eat it. So that to bring that kind of comfort, we'll have to have that one-to-one interaction every day on a regular basis. And that's when that trust develops. So to have a very friendly environment and to have less cases of, cats and dogs dying due to depression or, getting weak because of not eating food, then we'll have to follow this particular process. And that's how we have been doing, and we have had very successful cases. As you can see, they're all healthy cats now. So to bring them to that healthy phase, this is very important. So please do not feel that when you see cages, okay, the cats are being caged, we cannot leave them out as soon as they come. We cannot leave dogs out with other dogs without keeping them in a kennel. They have to see that, okay, there are other dogs. They have to smell them. They have to get familiar to that smell. And then they should not get scared. Otherwise, alpha dogs can, attack the inferior dogs, and some of the dogs which are weak, they do not come to eat food because there are other dogs eating. So when that happens, then the losses of the animal, because either he or she is not eating food, either he or she is falling sick because of lack of care. So we have to keep them in isolation for some time, and then slowly we introduce them to the bigger crowd, and then they roam around freely. So that's how the procedure goes. So few of the major challenges we face on a daily basis, and we have been facing that from past days as well. So it's like whenever we feed outside, like when we feed stray dogs, even here in the area we are living in, we are feeding around 100 dogs on a daily basis. And then the area we used to live in, now that volunteers have come up to take care of those dogs when we moved out. So we used to feed 200 animals there as well. So the criticism we face from the people, it's like you're feeding dogs, they're littering there, they're littering here, they bark on a day, they bark. So there's both physical and emotional violence, happening to feeders on an everyday basis. So even we have suffered that, and we are still facing that even in the village. It's not just the city. Even the village people come up and are like, no, do not feed the dogs or the cats over here. They'll come and litter over here. So we do take responsibility to for the animals we feed. We get them neutered, we get them spayed, we take care of their kittens or puppies whenever they litter, we take care of their health. But still people do not understand the bigger cause behind it. They do trouble us on a daily basis. And when it comes to shelter, donation is one of the challenges we face every day. It's like clearing bills. We have to order food every day. It's like chicken bills are piling up. The cat food bill, the dog bill, the medical bill, the doctor's bill, it keeps on piling up. And whenever, we have donations, like when we receive donation, when we take donation, we clear them. So that is one of the major challenges we face every day. And I think expanding is another challenge, which we, when we think of it, we get scared. Because when the population increases, of course, you have to expand. So right now it's 1.5 acre land we are living in. And then we have another shelter, which we are slowly constructing for dogs. Because for dogs, we need a bigger space when compared to cats. So I think expanding, and again, from where will the money come in to expand that shelter? And how will we arrange the workers? And what if the workers have to go due to some emergency, or they leave for some reason? Then we have to arrange a new worker. And now when we need workers, we need animal friendly workers. It's not like we can hire anyone. Now the workers we have 7 amazing workers. They take care of animals like how they take care of their own family. They talk to them. They do not mind cleaning the litter. They even if this half an hour or 1 hour delay in their food, like them eating, they're having their lunch or dinner, they still prioritize animals, that okay, they are hungry, we will feed them first, and then we'll have our food. So that kind of workers we have. So we are very scared of that as well, that in the future when we need more workers, how will we get them? And then volunteers, people do come and ask her for volunteering, but they're like, okay, we will feed the animals, but we will bathe the animals. But you have to understand that it is not that easy task. Animals will not just come to your hand if you want to bathe them or feed them. They will get scared of you. So rather than volunteering like that, just maybe you can help us feed stray dogs for a day in your area, and then we will guide you how to do that. So I think rather than coming and volunteering in our shelter, which we are already taking care of, I would just suggest to volunteer in your own area, make a group, and then start feeding the animals, so that rescue cases for any shelter, not just our shelter, just any shelter, abandoning cases, rescue cases will reduce on a daily basis, and even we can breathe rather than worrying about overpopulation. So in our shelter, whenever someone brings an animal, we have a formality of taking one-time donation, which is basically the cost of vaccination, maintenance, neutering or spaying, and the food for some time. So people accuse us of being, money-minded, that we're doing business, and that what kind of an atrocity it is that you take so much money from us. I will keep this money with myself, and then God will take care of that animal. So all these kinds of comment just keeps on coming just because we take one time donation to run this shelter. So let me be honest, donation works only when people or any government entity or a company in the form of CSR or this crowdfunding, or people like you who come and give it to us, like donate money to us or food to us or anything. When that comes in, that's when our shelter can become a zero donation shelter. So right now our situation is not like that. We have very minimal funding from people. We are not associated with any government. We are also we are trying for companies for CSR, but that is also kind of very limited. So if people help us getting in touch with the people who can help us, or come directly and donate, like we have our distributors, food distributors. You need not give the money directly to us. You can get in touch with our food distributors. They will send the food to us. We will make the video of that food coming into us, be giving to animal, and then you will also feel good that okay, your money is being utilized some way rather than blindly trusting us. And then you can, if you know any company that can help us, that in giving a CSR on a yearly basis, then we'll be very helpful for that as well. And if you know people who can give us like milk, rice, curd, paper, carton boxes, bowls for feeding stray dogs. So we are open to any kind of donations. You just have to contact us, help us, and with your help, with the government's help, with the company's help, I'm sure one day Sudha Shelter Home will become a zero donation shelter, where people who are actually struggling to earn on a daily basis will not hesitate to rescue and give it to Sudha Shelter Home, just because we do take in one-time donation. The one-time donation we take is to feed them, is to clear their bills, medical bills, food bills, their vaccination bills, their neutering and spaying bills, which is like a huge amount of money. So if you help us in that, we'll be very grateful to you. And it's you who can make this shelter a zero donation shelter, rather than blaming us that you take money and you do business. So it's been 5 years since we have constructed this shelter in Biddi. Earlier we used to live in a 2-story building in the city, where we used to keep animals, and that was only registered as our shelter address. But then later on, when the population kept on increasing, during COVID we had more than 120 cats and 4 dogs inside a 2-story building. So we just realized that start expanding it would be more important. So during COVID, everyone had trouble of some or the other thing, financial and everything. So we couldn't depend on donations then. My mom, she had a gifted property from my grandfather, which she sold to get money to construct this shelter. So we got in touch with the local people. My mom's friend, she's a localite from here. They helped us, husband and wife, they helped us getting this property. So this is a rented property. The owner was not using it, so he was open to giving it to create an animal shelter. So we did construct this. So when the construction was happening, there was a time when the money just, we didn't have money. So it stopped. Whatever my mom had, her savings, everything was gone. And this shelter stopped in the middle of construction. And we were like, okay, this is the end of it. This was a bad decision. We have cats and dogs here as well. We have cats and dogs in city as well. And we have only few workers, and we do not have money in our hand to give to the workers to maintain the shelter for food and everything. So it was a very bad phase when we didn't have any light to go to it. It was just like and it was just blank space. We didn't know what to do. The construction had stopped. But then my mom started, receiving calls from people, and her few friends who had given their pets to us for permanent care, and we had helped them in the recovery of their pets. So such few people, my mom's few friends, they had a talk with my mom, and my mom started explaining, crying that, this is happening. I don't know what to do. This is COVID situation. So we are suffering like this. I don't know why I just did this because I was just wondering that, okay, me and our animals will be free from the city life, from the criticism we face on a daily basis, from the, urban people. So we'll go to some rural area, we'll make a bigger shelter, we'll have a certain setup, animals will keep coming in, we'll be able to save a lot of animals. That was her whole idea behind it, because the population kept on increasing. But then the shelter construction had stopped and we were just clueless. So I think the most emotional moment was when my mom's friends, few of her friends, decided to come forward, take out some money from their savings, and donate it to the shelter for the construction. And then when the money kept when the money kept coming in, like from her friends, from our regular donors, from people we never knew, it just started reaching people, and people just started donating, and the construction of the shelter started again. We could see that, okay, it is coming into shape. Now we can completely shift all the animals from the city, from our house, to this shelter. And there's a place where my mom will live with the animals here in the shelter. So I think it was a very emotional and a very inspiring moment for all of us, a lesson for all of us, that basically my mom, because when she started questioning her decision that, okay, it was a wrong idea to make the shelter, I think it was a universal force through people which came to us, and the shelter was possible. So this is one of the most emotional thing which has happened to us. I think the biggest dream I have for this shelter is it to become a zero donation shelter. People not calling us that we are earning out of animals, or we are doing business over here. That is one of the biggest dreams. The second dream is to expand this shelter to as many places or cities as possible, because there's a certain way we have learned to take care of our animals. There's a certain way, there's a homely environment in our shelter. We have beds, we have chairs, we have beds for them, we have coolers for them, fans for them. So we have all these beddings for them on the beds. So I think there's a lot of very homely environment we have provided for the animals, so that they don't feel lonely, or they don't feel they have separated from their families, or they should feel like, okay, that was my life on the streets and this is my life in such a good place. So I think expanding it into more places or in more cities is my another dream, which can fulfill when more people come in for help, and more people volunteer saying, okay, that in this city I will take care of the shelter, this is my plan, let's just go ahead with it, let's talk to the company, let's talk to the government, and let's just create it. The biggest message I have for the people watching is, do not turn a blind eye to any animal suffering. When you help, the animal survives, and that good karma goes to you, that goes to your account, which is going to help you in leading a good life. So whenever you see an animal in distress, if you can take care of it, if you can take it to the hospital, take care of it for a few days, find a good foster home for it, find a good shelter for it, then I think it will be a greatest help to society as well as animals. And another biggest message is, like, it's not just to our shelter. Kindly do donate. Like, when you go out, you spend a minimum of 500 to 1,000 with your friends, with your family, or to have just a fun time. So it's so that in that, at least if you keep 100 rupees, or how much ever is possible from your end, if you just keep that out to donate to any shelter, animal shelter, or anything, or for any cause you want to, I think it will do a great deal to great good deal to society and to us.
ನಾನು ಸುಧಾ ವೆಂಕಟೇಶ್ ಅಂತ. ನಾನು ಈ ಥರ ಶೆಲ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡೇ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಹೆಂಗೆ ದೇವ್ರು ನನ್ನ ಕೈಲಿ ಮಾಡಿಸೋದನ್ನೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ವಯಸ್ಸಿಂದ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಜೊತೆನೆ ಬೆಳೆದವಳು. ನನ್ನ ಮದ್ವೆಲೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಯಜಮಾನ್ರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮಪ್ಪ ಬಳುವಳಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ನಾಯಿ ಬೆಕ್ಕನ್ನೇ. ಅವಾಗ ನಾನು ಸಾಕಿದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ನೀನು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ದೂರ ಹೋದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಆಚೆ ಕಡೆ ನಾಯಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಕೋತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫೀಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ ಹೊತ್ತು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ನಾವು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನನ್ನ ಮಗಳು 2 ಬೆಕ್ಕು ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದ್ಲು. ಅದೇನೋ ನನಗೆ ಶುರು ಆಗೋಯ್ತು ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ರೆಸ್ಕ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಆ ಥರ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. 12 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಆಯಿತು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ. ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ಶೆಲ್ಟರ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು 2016 ಆಮೇಲಿಂದ ಇದು ಹಂಗೆ ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡೋಯ್ತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಒಂಥರ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು, ಇದು ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು, ಇದನ್ನು ನಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಲೇಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಜನರಿಂದ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಾನು ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ನಾಯಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಊಟ ಹಾಕ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಅವಾಗ ನೀವು ಊಟ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಡ್ದು, ನೀವು ಊಟ ಹಾಕೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಬೇರೆ ನಾಯಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಜಗಳ ಆಡೋದು. ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳನ್ನ ಡೊಮ್ಯಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ದೇವ್ರು ಹುಟ್ಟಿಸಿರೋದು ಜನರುಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತಾನೆ. ನಿಜ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳು ಕಚ್ಚೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗೂ ಊಟನೇ ಹಾಕ್ಬಾರ್ದು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹಕ್ಕೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ತಪ್ಪು. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಅವ್ರ ದುಡ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ನನ್ನ ದುಡ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಅದು ರಾತ್ರಿ 12 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಒಂದೊತ್ತು ತಿನ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಗ್ಯಾಸು ಅದು ಇದು ಅಂತ. ಒಂದೊತ್ತನ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಊಟ ಸಿಗ್ಲಿ, ಆ ಒಂದೊತ್ತು ಅದು ತಿನ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬದುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ. ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾವಾಗ ನಂಗೆ ಜನ ಬೇಡ, ನೀನ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು, ನೀನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ತಪ್ಪು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ನಂಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಕೋಪ ಬಂತು. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿನೋ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೋಪರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಕೋಪರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ದಿರಾ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಂಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಕೋಪ ಬಂದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು, ಯಾರೇ ಏನೇ ಅಡ್ಡ ತಡೆದ್ರು ಅದನ್ನ ಮುಂದುವರ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ನಾನು ಈ ಶೆಲ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಏನೂ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೆ 2019 ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಸಿಕ್ತಾಗ್ಲೂ ನನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸನ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ರೆಕಾಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನಿಸ್ತು. ಅದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಾನು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಬೆಕ್ಕಿಗೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬೆಕ್ಕುಗಳು ಮರಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಮರಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಊಟ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅದು ಅವ್ರಿವ್ರ ಮನೆ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಯಾರು ಒಂಚೂರು ಹಾಲು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಒಂಚೂರು ನೀರು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದು ನಾಯಿಗಳ ತರ ಹೋಗಿ ರೋಡಲ್ಲಿ ತಿನ್ನಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಥರ ಹಿಂಸೆ ಪಟ್ಟಾಗ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಪಶಕುನ ಅನ್ನೋದು, ಅದ್ರ ಕೂದಲು ಬೀಳಬಾರ್ದು ಅನ್ನೋದು, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಬೆಕ್ಕಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟ್ ಶೆಲ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಕ್ಕುಗಳಿಗೋಸ್ಕರನೇ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬೆಕ್ಕುಗಳು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ 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 ಮನೇಲಿ 3 ಫ್ಲೋರ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಅಷ್ಟು ಬೆಕ್ಕು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕಾಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ 35-40 ಬೆಕ್ಕಿದ್ದು ಇದ್ದಕ್ಕಿದ್ದಾಗೆ 125 ಬೆಕ್ಕಾಗೋಯ್ತು ಜನರುಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ತಂದು ಹಾಕಿದಾಗ. ಅವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್ ಮಿರರ್ ಅವರು ಬಂದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿದ್ರು. ಆ ಥರ ಕಷ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನನ್ನ ಮನೇಲಿ ಊಟಗಳು ಹಾಕಿ ಬೆಕ್ಕುಗಳನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೋತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ನಾನು ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣರಾದ್ರೂ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋ ಊಟ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ವೆಟ್ ಫುಡ್ಡು ಡ್ರೈ ಫುಡ್ಡು ತಗೋತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಆದರೆ ನಾನ್ ವೆಜ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದರೆ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡರ್ ಯಾರನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ರು ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಥರ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನನ್ನ ಮನೇಲಿ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನಾವಿದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಮನೇಲಿ. ಓನರು ನಮಗೆ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಥರದ್ದು ದುಡ್ಡು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರೂ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿನ ಮಾರಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಈ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಅನಾಥರಾಗಬಾರ್ದು, ನನ್ನ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಓದಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಈ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಅನಾಥರಾಗಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಆದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಮೇಲೆ ತುಂಬ ಜನ ಕೋವಿಡಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಂದರೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದವರು, ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳನ್ನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋಕ್ಕಾಗದೇ ಇರೋರು, ತುಂಬ ಜನ ರೋಡಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗದೇ ಇರೋ ಅಂಥವ್ರು, 1-2 ರೋಡಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಕ್ಕುಗಳನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟಾಗ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮಾತು ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ಅವರು ಮೇಡಮ್ ನೀವೇ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರು. ಅವಾಗ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡೆ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ವರ್ಷ ಪೂರ್ತಿ, ಅದು ನಮ್ಗೆ 1 ಟೈಮ್ ಅಂತ ಡೊನೇಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಈ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೊಳ್ಳೆ ಒಂದು ನೆಲೆ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ, ರೋಡಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡೋದು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ. ಅವಾಗಲೂ ನನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅಂದರು ಸುಧಾ ಮೇಡಮು ಮನಿ ಮೈಂಡೆಡ್ಡು ಅಂತ. ಮನಿ ಮೈಂಡೆಡ್ಡು ಅಂದರೆ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್, ನನಗೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ದುಡ್ಡು ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಹೌದಪ್ಪ ಅನ್ಬೋದು. ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಡೋದು ಒಂದು 12,000 15,000, ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ, ಒಂದು ಸರ್ಜರಿ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ, ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಪೇ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದ್ರ ಊಟಗಳು ಅಷ್ಟು ಥರ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಊಟಗಳು ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ವಿಸ್ಕಾಸು ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಹಾಕಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ದುಡ್ಡಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳು ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ಇವಾಗ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಕಾಲದ ಥರ ಬರೀ ಹಾಲನ್ನ ಆ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ತಿನ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಲ್ಲ. ಇವಾಗಿನ ಊಟಗಳ ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಂಗೆ ಅದೇ ಊಟ ಬೇಕಮ್ಮ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ ಇವ್ರು ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಈ ಬೆಕ್ಕಿಗೆ ಈ ಥರ ಊಟ, ಅದು ದುಡ್ಡಿಲ್ದಿರ ರೋಡಿಂದ ರೆಸ್ಕ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇರೆ ಊಟ ಥರ ನಾವು ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಥರ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಜನ ಬೇಕು. ನನಗೂ 60 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಆಯಿತು. ನಾನು ಏನು ಅದನ್ನ 24 ಗಂಟೆ ನಾನು ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವಾಗ ಒಬ್ಬರನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋರ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಳ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಇವ್ರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ತುಂಬ ಜನ ನಾಯಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಒದ್ಲಾಡೋರು. ನಾಯಿಗಳನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಮನೆ ಹತ್ರ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಮು, ಅಕ್ಕಪಕ್ಕದವ್ರದ್ದು ಹತ್ರ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಮು, ಏಜಿನ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಮು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇನೋ ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಮು ಅಂತ. ಸರಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆದಂಗೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಶೆಲ್ಟ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಜೀವಕ್ಕೂ ನೆಲೆ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದಷ್ಟೇ. ನಾನು ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಲಕ್ಷಾಂತರ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಕೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅವರೇ ಲೆಕ್ಕಾಚಾರ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ರು 1 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನೇನಾರು ತಗೊಂಡು ನಾನು ತಿಂತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ನಾನು ಏನಾರು ಒಂದು ಒಡವೆ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಹೌದು ಅಂತ. ನಾನು ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಶೀಟ್ ಮನೇಲಿ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಾನು ಇದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ನಾನು ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲು ಅಂತ. ಆ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಬಂದವಳು ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ. ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳಿಗೆ ನೆಲೆ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಇವಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆ ಕೂತಿದ್ದಾನಲ್ಲ ಚೀಕು ಅಂತ, ನಾನು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಅಮ್ಮನೋ, ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮರಿಗೆ ಅವನ ಅಮ್ಮ. ಒಂದು ಬೆಕ್ಕನ ಮರಿನಾಗ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಅಳಿಲ್ ಮರಿನಾಗ್ಲಿ ಕಚ್ಚಲ್ಲ, ಅವನ್ ತನ್ನ ಮಗು ತರ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಅದೇ ತರ ನಮ್ಗ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಸೇವೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದ್ರ ಜೀವ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಡೊನೇಷನ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟು. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನವರು, ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ನವರು CSRಗಳು ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಮ್ದು ATG ಇದೆ, 12A ಇದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನವ್ರು ಬಂದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ನಾವು ಅವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ಬಿಡಾ ಫಂಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇದನ್ನ ನಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು, ಇನ್ನೂ ಜೀವಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಆ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಷನ್ಸು ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇವಾಗ ಯಾರನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಬೇಜಾರು, ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಮಾಡ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸಾವಿರಾರು ರೂಪಾಯಿ, ಲಕ್ಷಾಂತರ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದೇ ತರ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು 500 ರೂಪಾಯಿ, 1000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ, 2000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳಿಗೆ 1 ದಿವಸ 2 ದಿವಸ 1 ಹೊತ್ತು ಊಟಗಳು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಹಾಲು ಮೊಸರು ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ನಾವು ಕೊಂಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಷ್ಟ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಡೈಲಿ ಅಷ್ಟಿಷ್ಟೊಂದೆಲ್ಲ ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಕೊಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ದು 40-50 ಸಾವಿರ ಬಿಲ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ಗಳು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ್ದನ ಮುಂದೆ ಬರೋದು. ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದು ನಂದಿನಿಯವರು ಮುಂದೆ ಬಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಹಿಂದಿನ ದಿವಸ ಹಾಲು ಮೊಸರಿದೆ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಇದನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳಿಗೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆದಂಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಮ್ಗೇನು ಅವ್ರೇನು ಅಷ್ಟಿಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಲೀಟ್ರ್ ಏನು ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರ ಕೈಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೋ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜೀವ ಉಳ್ಸಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟರ್ಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ಗಳಿದೆ, ಯಾರು ನಮಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಅಂಗಡಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಥರ ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟ್ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರ ನಂಬರ್ ಇಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ನಮಗೆ ಊಟಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಸೇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಊಟ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾವು ಊಟಗಳು ಹಾಕುವಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಒಂಥರ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಮ್ದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. ಮೆಟ್ರೋ ಇಂದ ಅಕ್ಕಿ ತಗೋತೀವಿ, ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟ್ ಹಾಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಬರೋ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ ಅವರು. ಆ ಥರ ನೀವು ಮೆಟ್ರೋಗೆ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನಮಗೆ ರೇಷನ್ ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಕಳಿಸೋರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆದರೆ ರೇಷನ್ ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಸಲ ಬರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ನಾಯಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದ್ರ ಬದಲು ಯಾರನ್ನ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಡೊನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬೆಕ್ಕು ನಾಯಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ರೇಷನ್ ಅಕ್ಕಿನ ಬೆಕ್ಕಿಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಬೆಕ್ಕುಗಳು ತಿನ್ನಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಬೆಕ್ಕಿಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನಾಯಿಗಳಿಗೊಂದು ರೇಷನ್ ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟೋರ್ದು ಇಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಥರ ಯಾರ ಕೈಲಿ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೋ, ಒಂದು ಫೆನೈಲು, ಒಂದು ಬೆಡ್ಶೀಟು, ಒಂದು ಕರ್ಟನ್ನು, ಒಂದು ಟವಲ್ಲು, ಏನ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಶೆಲ್ಟರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳನ್ನ ಹಂಗೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ತರದ್ದು ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಹೆಂಗ್ ತಲುಪಿಸ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಇವಾಗ 1 ಮೂಟೆ 2 ಮೂಟೆ ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಬಂದು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಖಂಡಿತ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಆಟೋಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟಿಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಪೇ ಮಾಡ್ಲಾರೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಬದಲು ನೀವೇನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟರ್ಸ್ ಹತ್ರ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಅಕ್ಕಿ ತಗೋತೀವಿ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಒಂದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸುಧಾ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಬಂದು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಬಯಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ನೋಡಿ, ನನಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಕಂಪನಿಯವ್ರು ಮುಂದೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಜಾಗ ನಡಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಡೊನೇಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಸಣ್ಣ ಪುಟ್ಟಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ ಹೊತ್ತು ದೊಡ್ಡದಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಕಟ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ಒಂದು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಒಂದು 30-40 ಸಾವಿರ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಊಟ ತಗೋತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗದಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಕಂಪನಿಗಳು, ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನವರು ಮುಂದೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಅದು ಬಂದ್ರೇನೆ ನಮ್ ಕೈಲಾಗೋದು. ಈ ತರ ನಂಗೆ ಖಂಡಿತ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೇರಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ನಮ್ ಈ ಶೆಲ್ಟರ್ನ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ನಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಳಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ. 100 ಜೀವಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಲೆ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು. ನನ್ನ ನಂತರ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಶೆಲ್ಟರ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜನಗಳಿಂದಾನೇ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಅದರಿಂದ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೇರಿ ನಮ್ಗೊಂದು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ತುಂಬಾ ಇದರಿಂದ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಮಾರಿದಾಗ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋ ದುಡ್ಡು ನಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ನಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಬಂದೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 800 ಜೀವಗಳಾಗಿದೆ. 800 ಜೀವಗಳಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಂಗೆ ತಿಂಗಳು ಯಾರು ಸಂಬಳ ಕೊಡೋರಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದರಿಂದ ನಮ್ದು ಡೊನೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ದಿವಸ ಇದು ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಾನೂ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದ್ರ ಜನ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೇನೆ ಈ ಶೆಲ್ಟರ್ ಮುಂದೆ ನಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ.
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಬಂದು ಸರಸ್ವತಿ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಸುಧಾ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಪರಿಚಯ ಆಗಿದ್ದು, ಒಬ್ರು ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಪರಿಚಯ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ನಮಗೆ ಸುಧಾ ಮೇಡಮ್. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟಿಂದನೂ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಜೊತೆಲಿ ನಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾಯಿದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೆಕ್ಕಂದೆಲ್ಲ ಇವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಲಿ ನಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋಣ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಜೊತೆಲಿ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸುಧಾ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಇದು ಯಾವ ತರ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಹೆಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂತು. ಅವಾಗ ನಾನು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಂಗೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಸಪ್ರೇಟಾಗಿ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಂತೂ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಇವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಲಿ ನಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದಲ್ಲ, ನನ್ನ ಇಷ್ಟದಿಂದ ನಾನು ಬಂದಿರೋದು. ಯಾರು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಾಗ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಬಲವಂತದಿಂದ ಆಗಲಿ ಏನೂ ಬಂದು ಇವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇರೋ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಲಿ ಆಗೋವರೆಗೂ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಸೇವೆ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಜೊತೆಲಿ ನಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ನಾಯಿದು ಬೆಕ್ಕಂದಾಗ್ಲಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಆ ರೋಡ್ ನಾಯಿಗೆ ಊಟ ಹಾಕೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದನ್ನು ನಾನು ಸುಧಾ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಜೊತೆ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಡ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ.
If this video moved you, if my words moved you, kindly I do invite you to come be a part of our family, to be part of these animals' lives, because you being a part of them and they being a part of you, it's like a divine feeling. It's a divine energy. So just kindly help us, expand us, help these animals and be a part of us. Thank you so much.